Hello, my dear students, and welcome back. I know, exams are just around the corner, and that chapter on the parliamentary system can feel a little heavy. But hey, don't you worry one bit. I'm here, and today we're going to make it all super simple. Are you ready? Jello, let's jump right in.
So let's start our little virtual tour right here with this amazing building. This is our new parliament, and you can think of it as the brain of our entire country. I mean, this is where all the big decisions that affect over 140 crore people are made. It's where our democracy is alive and kicking every single day.
Okay, first stop on our tour, we need to meet the two main teams that work inside this big building. In your textbook, they're called houses, but for today, let's just think of them as Team LS and Team RS.
So here they are. On one side, we have the Lok Sabha, which literally means the House of the People. And on the other, we've got the Rajya Sabha, or the Council of States. Now, because we have these two separate houses, our parliament has something called a bicameral system. It sounds like a big, complicated word, but it's not. It just means two chambers.
So you might be asking, what's the big difference between these two teams, right? Well, it all comes down to how they get elected. For the Lok Sabha, all of us, every adult citizen in India, gets to vote directly for our representatives. It's kind of like how you might vote for your class monitor. But for the Rajya Sabha, it's a little different. It's an indirect election. The representatives we elect in our states, our MLAs, they are the ones who then vote for the Rajya Sabha members. Think of it like your teachers choosing the members of a senior school council. So let's boil it down. Direct election for LS, indirect for RS. See? Simple.
And here's that keyword again, Bacho. Let's make sure we remember this one. Bicameral. Bi means two, cameral means chamber. So two chambers. I'm telling you, you should definitely lock this word in your brain. It's a classic one-mark question for your exam, for sure.
All right, now that we know who the two teams are, let's look at what they actually do. We're going to follow the journey of a simple idea and watch how it travels through these houses and becomes a real law for the entire country. It's actually quite a magical process.
Think of it like this. You're making your favorite dish. What's the first thing you need? A recipe, right? Well, that recipe is what we call a bill. It's just a draft, an idea for a law. So, this bill is introduced, then it's discussed and voted on in the first house, let's say the Lok Sabha. If it passes there, it goes over to the second house, the Rajya Sabha, for, you guessed it, more discussion and more voting. If they also say yes, it goes for the final, super important step, the president's signature or assent. Once it gets that official stamp of approval, that's it. The bill becomes an act. It's now a law for everyone.
And your textbook really puts it perfectly, doesn't it? It's a long and effortful journey. But why all the effort? Well, this whole process of debating in both houses makes sure that every law is looked at from all possible angles before it affects you and me. It's like a built-in safety check, and that's what makes our democracy so strong.
Okay, so the parliament makes the laws. Great. But a law just written on a piece of paper? It doesn't really do anything by itself, does it? Somebody has to actually put that law into action, and that's where the government's action team comes in. We call them the executive.
So who's on this action team? Well, we've got the president, who is our head of states. We have the vice president, but the people who run the country day to day, that would be the prime minister and their team, the council of ministers. You can think of the president as the head of the states, but the prime minister is the head of the government.
This brings up a really important question. We have this super powerful action team, the executive. But who keeps an eye on them? Who makes sure that they're doing their jobs properly and honestly? Any ideas?
It's the parliament itself. That's right, the same people who make the laws also keep the people who implement the laws in check. And one of their most powerful tools is something called the question hour. During this time, any member of parliament can stand up and ask the ministers questions about their work. And the ministers have to answer right there, in front of everyone. It's a fantastic way to make sure the government is accountable to the people.
You know, this whole idea of one part of the government keeping a check on another part, it's a super important concept. So for our last section, let's quickly look at this big idea of checks and balances, and also see how this entire system works in our states too.
So we've met the legislature that makes the laws and the executive that puts them into action. But there's a third very important piece of the puzzle, the judiciary. That's our courts. Their job is to protect our laws and our Constitution. So you see, these three branches together form a system of separation of powers. They all keep a check on each other, which creates this perfect balance so that no single group can ever become too powerful.
And this idea of balance isn't just at the top.
It also applies between the central government in Delhi and our own state governments. The Constitution very cleverly divides their lawmaking powers into 3 lists. There's the union list for national things like defense, the state list for local things like the police, and then the concurrent list for topics they both can work on like education. This division of power is at the very heart of our federal system.
All right, my champions, this is it, the final lap. I need you to pay very, very close attention now. This next part is your key to scoring full marks on that PACA exam question about the difference between the legislature and the executive. Let's do a super quick recap.
Just look at this simple table. The legislature's main role? To make laws. The executive's main role? To enforce those laws. The legislature is the entire parliament, but the executive is just the prime minister and their team of ministers. So here's the key point. The executive is actually a part of the legislature, but they have a very different job to do. Go on, take a mental screenshot of this slide. It's that important. Okay, quick quiz before we wrap this up. What's the magic number for our parliament? How many houses? It's 2. And what's that magic word we learned? Say it out loud with me. Bicameral. Excellent. Don't you dare forget that one.
And just like that, we're done. See? Not so tough after all. But before you go, I want to leave you with one final thought. Our entire system is built on these checks and balances, all to make sure no one person or group becomes too powerful. Why do you think this is so incredibly important for a huge, diverse, and wonderful democracy like our India? Just think about that. All the very best for your exams, my dears. I know you will all do wonderfully. Bye for now.